barrage of sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Imagine this, a rapper facing a life sentence, but somehow he only gets 63 months. Sounds crazy, right? But it gets even wilder. He practically snitched on himself. Picture this. He leaves a Louis Vuitton bag filled with nearly $5,000 right at the crime scene, and get this, it's right next to a police station. But wait, it doesn't stop there. While he's on the run, he's posting selfies with his McLaren, showing off like everything's fine. Then, his team drops a music video featuring that same McLaren just as the feds are closing in. Was he trying to build his career, or did the feds have him all figured out? This is the same rapper who used to call out others for snitching, yet here he is, confessing to an armed robbery.
How?
By driving that green McLaren and posting it on Instagram, just 2 hours before the cops were all over him. In the courtroom, B had no choice but to sign a deal with the feds. The hip-hop world exploded. Fellow rappers called him a snitch, but his best friend, now 30 years old, stepped in to defend him, adding more fuel to the fire. This whole situation just keeps getting more and more intense. What's next for him? Only time will tell.
If you see the paperwork, my mama, I do whatever y'all tell me to do, cause my eyebrow.
So, here's the deal. The rapper's time in jail seems pretty normal for someone who got caught doing the things he did. But here's the twist. DJ Academics mentioned that while other rappers were out there mocking him for snitching, they were missing the bigger picture. They were all caught up in laughing at him, but didn't know what was really going on behind the scenes. The whole situation is way more complicated than it looked at first, and they didn't have all the facts.
Pooh Shiesty, who looked like he's absolutely chilling in jail. My boy got a little Richard Millie, you know what I mean? Got the haircut all right.
Let's break this down. To understand what really happened with Pooh Shiesty's case, we need to look at the most recent details to figure out if he actually missed his release date. According to the story, Pooh Shiesty and his friend were planning to buy some pricey sneakers, but things went downhill fast. Pooh Shiesty showed up in his flashy green McLaren, parked, and waited for the seller. At first, they were supposed to pay for the shoes, but instead, they came up with a plan to steal them. They were chatting about the price. Pooh Shiesty was checking out the sneakers when the seller handed them over. That's when his friend saw the perfect chance to get ready for what was coming. When the seller noticed Pooh Shiesty pull out a gun from his waistband, things got heated. A fight broke out, and the 2 men tried to escape, jumping over the hood of the car. But they were too slow. Pooh Shiesty didn't waste any time. He circled their car, gun in hand, ready for whatever came next. The situation spiraled out of control, and now the consequences are catching up with him. Here's where things get crazy. The 2 men went into action. Pooh Shiesty struck one of them in the hip and backside. But it was his friend who grabbed the sneakers and cocaine from their vehicle, tossing them into the green McLaren. Then, in a rush, they jumped into the car. Pooh Shiesty made sure everything was in place while his friend, pissed, hopped into the driver's seat. In all the chaos, Pissed didn't realize his Louis Vuitton bag had slipped out of the side pocket of the car and onto the concrete. The McLaren has butterfly doors, which means they open up and lift, so the bag just fell right out. They didn't even notice it as they left it behind in the parking lot. That Louis Vuitton bag, worth almost $5,000, was left behind. Big mistake. After making a quick getaway, Pooh Shiesty hopped on a private plane and flew out of Miami. He raced from the parking lot straight to the nearest airport. While in the air, he posted photos of himself with the green McLaren on Instagram, acting like everything was normal. But those posts ended up being his downfall. The feds saw them and used the photos to track him down, leading to his eventual arrest. What seemed like a carefree moment on social media turned into the evidence that brought him down.
Mr. Williams, you were arrested for pursuant to an arrest warrant. It was issued June 3rd. It's charging you. You have 2 attorneys here.
After everything went down, Shiesty ended up in jail, but managed to bond out for $30,000. He was held on bond for 2 months before being properly arrested and facing the consequences of his actions. The town of Bay Harbor Island put out a warrant for him, and he was hit with charges for armed robbery. The affidavit showed that he and his friend had left the state after the crime. Then, on April 20th, DJ Academics dropped a tweet saying that the Memphis rapper was facing an 8-year sentence. But in the end, he'd only serve 63 months behind bars for firearm charges and robbery. What's crazy is that robberies like this don't happen often. When DJ Academics went live and said Shuri was almost free, no one really believed him. That comment sparked a lot of people to start digging into the case, and the whole situation blew up as everyone wanted to know more.
Coming home like next year, maybe the year after. However, it looked like he's, taking responsibility of whatever happened and doing his time, not crying.
So, here's the deal. It looks like Shuri might be coming home sometime next year, or maybe the year after. But one thing's for sure, he seems to be taking full responsibility for what went down. He's not out here complaining, and he's definitely making it clear that he's staying strong. If he comes home in a year, he's going to be alright. Shuri's been in the game since he was young, making money and building his wealth as a rapper. This lifestyle isn't anything new for him. A lot of people believe that he went a little too far with his crime to push his rap career to the next level. Some think that signing with Gucci Mane helped boost his career, but the truth is, Shuri had a criminal history long before that. It's not like Gucci came along and led him down a bad path. He was already involved in the streets, and Gucci just gave him a bigger platform. It's like this. He was already living that life, and it caught up to him. Now, he's paying the price for those choices. It is what it is, and that's the reality he's facing right now to us. Oh, here's the deal with the McLaren and the flashy lifestyle. Yeah, it makes sense for someone like Shuri, right? But honestly, that was always him even before all the fame and money. It's not a shock. Gucci Mane didn't turn him into someone he wasn't. You can't change who a person really is. Still, there are always people who come up with crazy theories like the whole life insurance thing, trying to connect dots where they might not even exist. But here's the real twist. The reason Shuri got released early? It came down to something called a profer deal. Now, a profer deal is when a person gives the feds detailed info about the crime they committed in exchange for immunity. In Shuri's case, he was facing the possibility of a life sentence, but he traded that in for just 63 months behind bars. To make that happen, all he had to do was basically snitch on himself, giving the feds what they needed to make the case against him easier. Now, people are starting to accuse him of working with the feds from the start, suggesting he helped them out with information on others involved. And that's where all these conspiracy theories start flooding in. The whole situation got a lot more complicated because of the deal he made, but in the end, he cut his time down massively, which has definitely made a lot of noise in the rap world. It's a crazy move, but it's all about how you play the game. It's almost hard to believe when you think about it. Shuri had to openly admit all the mistakes he made during this whole robbery. One of his biggest screw-ups? Doing the armed robbery right next to a police station. You can guess what happened next. As soon as the shots were fired, the cops were on it. There was a parking lot full of squad cars just across the street, and when the police station's cameras picked up the shooting, they knew exactly where to go. All they had to do was check the footage, and they were on his trail. But here's where it gets even crazier. Shuri didn't even bother to pick up the Louis Vuitton bag that had almost $5,000 in cash inside. You'd think someone would make sure to take that, right? But no, he left it behind, and it was actually a smart move in a way. He knew the feds would easily track it back to him. That bag became a crucial piece of evidence. But that's not the worst part. The feds also went through Shuri's Instagram and found pictures of him showing off stacks of cash. When they zoomed in on those bills, they realized something huge. The serial numbers on the cash in the photos matched the bills from the Louis Vuitton bag he left behind. Can you believe that? Just hours before he pulled off the robbery, he posted a selfie with that same cash, making it way too easy for the feds to link everything together. It was almost like he handed them the evidence on a silver platter. Talk about a rookie mistake. After landing in Miami on a private plane, Shuri couldn't help but show off his success on social media. He posted pictures of his prized green McLaren, acting like nothing was wrong. But just hours later, his life would take a huge turn. While still on the plane, using Wi-Fi, he shared his posts, flaunting the car like it was business as usual. But little did he know, the authorities were watching closely. Even with everything going down, his team kept pushing forward. They released the music video for Gone, once again featuring that signature McLaren. It was like a big middle finger to anyone who thought he was finished. And even while facing prison time, Shuri didn't hold back. From behind bars, he posted a defiant message on Telegram. "I'm still untouchable and my money's still there," he said, boasting about his millions. "Tell Google to fix my net worth," he demanded, throwing in a shot at Jay-Z, claiming that even the rap mogul couldn't match his wealth. He made it clear that no one had ever played with him, whether on the streets or behind bars. He was still the king of Memphis. In his eyes, Shuri didn't stop there. He also shared a message from an interview he did before his arrest. Looking back, he explained how his success gave him the confidence to keep pushing forward. "I'm gonna stop right here," he recalled, thinking about how fans were already calling him their favorite rapper. For Shuri, the love from his fans was all the fuel he needed to keep going, and he knew he had to keep his foot on the gas. No matter what happened, he wasn't going to let anything stop him from claiming his spot at the top.